What's going on, Master Duel fans? James here again. All I can say is it's been a very long while within the past few days of not doing any uploads as of late. Sorry for those delays, but this one last video that I'm about to put up with, at the time this video goes up, this is where a new challenger approaches. We are going to do some studying the man with the mark, aka Apophis, aka Tombkeeper, aka Odeon. So with that being said, let us go into the guides. And with this hand, it's literally nothing but all monsters. Not to mention 1, 2 are the real normals. And yet we got Vernisils to back it up on the discard. So we're in pretty good shape. Also, Fat 60. So that grass looks greener much after the profile, of course. Initially, when it comes to reasoning, my original instinct calling 2 for the sake of Paleozoics in terms of having Laundry Maid summon for extra mills, but I figured what's another trap heavy deck? Like if I was to call out a different number, we are going to utilize that in terms of gaining some knowledge. And before we go any further on the card reads, first things first, if I don't know that specific card, we are going to do some reading and then afterwards, continue on. So for this particular reasoning, we decided to call on 4. Apophis the Serpent, Trapaholic, Dimensional Barrier, Rest in Peace D Barrier in TCG, Treasure of the Kings, Fiend Comedian, another Apophis the Serpent, Transaction Rollback, Paleozoic Lean Coilia, Paleozoic Morella, Paleozoic Dynamiscus, the Black Goat Laughs, Trap Trick, Anubis the Last Judge. Nope, it doesn't count because can't be normal summon / set. Doesn't count. Another Transaction Rollback. Elemental Burst. Temple of the Kings. Another copy of Anubis the Last Judge. Doesn't count. Hey, level 4, we hit one. Hey, and we caught it right. So the man with the mark. Okay. First things first on the graveyard related stuff. Apophis good stuff. Apophis good stuff. Paleos, Black Goat Labs. Elemental Burst, that's been there since Paleos. Okay, so the name of the game with these guys is that they are a series of earth monsters. I could work with them with Vernisylph if I legitimately wanted to, for that matter. So they are all about setting up the Apophis traps, knowing that they're basically trap monsters, and you basically have to maintain control of the man, temple / treasure kings, and then the Apophyses can help you interrupt your opponent's moves. So, the man with the mark, level 4, Earth Spellcaster, 1000 both ways. Upon normal or special, you can take 1 Temple of the Kings or 1 spell / trap that mentions it, and either add it to your hand from the deck or send it to the graveyard. So if you guys remember the card called Amazoness Call, it's literally that, but Temple of the Kings version. And that effect is a once per turn. While you control Temple of the Kings, this card and Apophis monsters you control cannot be killed by battle or card effects. Temple of the Kings you control cannot be killed by card effects. Mystical Beast of Circuit. If anyone remembers the anime where Odeon used this card against Joey, this is one of the most unstoppable monsters way back when in terms of the Battle City. But at the same time though, they did balance it out just to make sure that it's a fair card though, in terms of the comparison between the anime and TCG land in the real world. Level 6, Earth Fairy, for some reason, and not an insect, because, you know, look at it. 2,500 attack, 2,000 defense. Also, it being a Earth Fairy off from the OG circuit and it's retrained basically means Vernisil Duck has easy access for that, because he says the discard effect lets you add one Earth Fairy from deck to hand. And would you look at that? Both of the circuits let you add, well, being added all from Vernisil Duck. So again, Earth Fairy, level 6, 2,500 attack, 2,000 defense. If you do not control Temple of the Kings, kill this card. Banish any monster that gets killed by battle with this card. And if this card kills a monster by battle, extra 500 attack. Merciless Scorpion of Circuit. Literally the exact same stats as Mystical Beast of Circuit. Can't be normal summon set, must first be specialed from your hand by banishing one level 10 or higher monster from your hand or deck while you control Temple of the Kings. So basically, once you have Merciless Scorpion searched all from Vernisil Duck, as well as you have proper setup, then you should be able to turbo out Merciless Scorpion. Yeah, Merciless Scorpion by any means. So yeah, properly special by banishing a level 10 or higher monster from your hand or deck while you control Temple of the Kings, and then once per turn this way on the summon. Oh, I think I know what it was. Once properly summoned, you can actually use your Vernisil discard effects and then reborn Merciless Scorpion doing so. Once per turn, during your main phase, you can add one Temple of the Kings or one spell that mentions it from deck to hand. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can kill that opponent's monster, and if you do, this card gains attack equal to half the destroyed monster's original attack. Anubis, the Last Judge. Level 10 Earth Fiend, 3,000 flat on the attack, no defense. Can't be normal summon set, must first be specialed from your hand or graveyard, while you have 3 or more cards in your graveyard with different names that are Temple of the Kings and or traps by placing 2 of them on the bottom of the deck in any order. You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, add 1 man with the mark from deck to hand. Okay, so Anubis Judge, instant access to the man with the mark, instant access to Treasures of the Kings, and then get the whole entire thing set up. So basically, Treasures, Anubis, and Man is basically mandatory must-see to have the deck keep it flowing and consistent at all times. If a spell / traps more than one you control gets killed by card effect, you can target one card your opponent controls, kill it. Each effect once per turn. Spell lineup. Defense of the Temple. perform a fuse summon of a Earth fusion of any kind, so it's polymerization for Earths. If you use a monster you control that mentions Temple of the Kings, you can also use face-up monsters your opponent controls as material. And then, if you control Temple of the Kings, you can banish this from grave, add 1 Dangers of the Divine from your deck to your hand. And when it comes to Dangers of the Divine, to be specific, as a quick play spell, this enables to pay half your life points, then tribute 1 monster to special 1 Winged Dragon Ra from your hand or banishment, ignoring its summoning condition, and make its stats 4,000, but it can't attack. Also, during the end phase of the next turn, kick it back to the hand. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, choose 1 Winged Dragon Ra in your monster zone and send all of the monsters everywhere on the field to the graveyard. And then each effect once per turn. Treasures of the Kings. Upon activation, you can straight up set 1 Apophis trap from your deck. Name treatment of Temple of the Kings while it's in the field zone. Once per turn, if you have 2 or more set cards on your side of the field or a trap in your graveyard, you can add 1 monster that mentions Temple of the Kings from your deck to your hand. Hard once on the activation. And of course, we all know what's up about Temple of the Kings, because in the early years of Temple of the Kings, this card's history in terms of banning, it's due to the fact that none of the errata effects of Temple of the Kings, they did not have this errata treatment until that 1 year when Temple of the Kings was off the list. This is the part where each effect once per turn made it happen. So let's see what's the reason why this card used to be way too good from back in the day. You can trigger 1 trap card in general the turn it was set, so it's Makiura the Destructor. You can send 1 Mystical Beast of Circuit in your monster zone and this card to the graveyard. Special 1 monster from your hand, deck, or 1 fusion monster in general from your extra deck. Wow. And again, because of the new errata from when they freed up Temple of the King in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh's ban list, they decided to add this errata of each effect once per turn. Verdict of Anubis. Counter trap. When your opponent activates a spell/trap card while you control 3 or more other spell/traps, negate the activation as it never happened, and if you do, kill that card. Then, if you control Temple of the Kings, you can kill as many monsters your opponent controls as possible. Does not target, by the way. Then, burn your opponent equal to half the total original attack of those destroyed monsters. Built-in Raigeki with the burn damage. Wow. Hard once on the activation. Apophis trap monsters. And of course, the trap monsters, just to clarify, embodiment of Apophis, reptile earth. Well, technically, the Apophis trap monsters are all reptile earth. So embodiment is a level 4, 1600 attack, 1800 defense, still treated as a trap, yet it's a normal monster. So we all know what's up about embodiment of Apophis. Apophis, the swamp deity. Aside from the usual trap monster thing, as a level 6, 2000 attack, 2200 defense, still treated as a trap. Then you can negate the effects of face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of other continuous traps you control. Does not target, by the way, until the end of this turn. Does not target. Negate is beyond crucial. Apophis the Serpent. trap monster thing as a normal monster. Level 4, 1600 attack, 1800 defense. Then you can straight up set one Apophis trap from your deck that isn't Apophis the Serpent, and it can be triggered this turn. If this card is sent to the graveyard, doesn't matter how it's sent to the graveyard, you can add one embodiment of Apophis from deck to hand. Each effect once per turn. And as for the fusion, just the one, Divine Serpent Apophis. Level 6 Earth Reptile Fusion, 2800 attack, 2600 defense. And it takes 2 monsters that mention Temple of the Kings to make it. Must be either fuse summon or special summon by attributing 2 Apophis monsters. Once per turn, you can target up to 3 Apophis traps with different names in your graveyard. Straight up set them. Once per turn, if a trap gets triggered outside of the damage step, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, kill it. And that is literally every card from Odeon's covered. Anything else? In terms of graveyard effects, if any. Add 1 embodiment. Transaction rollback can be literally anything. Helios can come back whenever a trap triggers. Normal trap, by the way. Well, technically any trap card, really. Black Gold laughs to make sure that monster effects on the field specifically cannot be activated. To get around that thing, you still got hand, graveyard, and or banishment. So it's all good from there. Another transaction rollback. And there you go. Put 2 back for Anubis. Put 2 back for another Anubis. Exceed into Farudras. Set. Rollback. Copy off Trapaholic. Killing off. DD Post? Quite the art this is. As a continuous trap, monsters you control gain 300 attack for each card type, monster, spell, or trap among your banished cards. Once per turn, during the main phase, you can banish 1 card from your hand or graveyard. Then you can shuffle one of your banished cards into the deck. And once banished, you can place it face up on your field. That effect is a hard once. And Trapaholic, kill off DD Post, D Barrier, and 2 set. Redeemable Jar, continuous trap, hard once on this effect. You can banish 1 trap from your graveyard, add from your graveyard to your hand 1 trap with a different original name from that banished card. Banish the Post, Morella comes back, adding D Barrier, Full Bloom, Real Normal Mantis, no effect, Make Sarah, Furnace of Duck, discard Bamboo Shoot, did not negate with Varudras, Reborn Duck, Full Bloom, force the Varudras to negate, destroy something, no second detach, Flourish Hills, getting Awakening Forest, and discard Vera, by the way. And I opted not to reborn Vera because Black Gold Laughs is a card. We are going to wait for Vera's reborn at a proper time. Black Gold Laughs, calling out Vera, Awakening Forest, discard Camellia, toss out Goki Pole, reborn Camellia, Goki Pole being the last thing, getting Arachnocampa, toss out Cricket, D-Barrier, calling on XZ. Sure, we got Synchros and Links, not an issue. Also, that's a normal trap triggered, so thank you very much. And the Paleo special, so that's another monster being Cricket. Vermilio special, spot removal to set, which was Lean Coilia, put DD Post back, Paleo Dynamiscus return. Sarah, straight up set Holotea. Geonator is the way to go because if I expect my opponent to use Elemental Burst once I overcommit everything, Elemental Burst basically says, not counting the cost of the tribute one each of the certain attributes. The resolution of the effect is destroy all cards on your opponent's side of the field. So to circumvent this, Geonator Transverser is the way to go. And it makes it so that she herself, Camellia, cannot be killed by opponent's card effects because she's pointing to something, and your two Vernisylphs, being Flourishing Hills and Misting Seedlings, they are not dead by card effects because of Flourishing Hills. So if my opponent were to use Elemental Burst in this situation, he'd end up destroying 3 cards. Roll back. I have Copy Off Burst, 3 cards. Holotea, banish. Target Reborn Murmilio. Spot removal, Redeemable Jar. Over Morella. Over Lean Coilia. Naturia Landois. Mole Cricket. Reborn. We never use the effect. Ferudris is higher. Eteli for 2. Scrap Dragon. Kill off Ferudris. Ferudris. Kill off Landois. Arachnocampa. Free special. And pass. Anubis. 2 Anubises. So let's see. Redeemable Jar, Fiend Comedian, as well as DD Post, D-Barrier return. Anubis over Geonator. Over Scraps. Set to Dynamiscus 2 defense and pass. D-Barrier, Call XZ, oof. Lean Coilia comes back. To attack, Arachnocampa goes. The 2 Traptrix monsters over the 2 Paleos. Asa. Take the man with the mark and 1 set. The 2 Anubises over Flourishing Hills and the man. So Asa is good to go, stealing something again. Silhouette Rabbit. Drake comes back. Straight up set. Apophis the Serpent. Return to next to of Trapaholic D-Barrier. And then Cricket Eteli for 2. Sunflower Vein. Set 1 and pass. Rise to full height. Sure. Apophis the Serpent. Vein, Chibi Sunflower, and itself negate destroy. Asa, take the man. You can banish this from grave, target 1 monster you control. Your opponent's monsters cannot attack for the rest of this turn except to attack that monster. You know what? I'm okay with that because trash, Asa, grab Vernisyl Bear. Vernisyl Bear, discard Mole Cricket, draw 1. Now we reborn Vera. Take the Anubis, set 1 and pass. Vera, reborn Camellia. Camellia toss out Tree, which we never did. Tree for blessing. Call by on the Anubis. set 1, and pass. Trapaholic, Blessing for Vayne, killing off Apophis the Swamp Deity, and if he were to set the rollback on the field to be specific, this is where he needs one of my traps in my graveyard. So normal trap. There is none of the normal traps. Obviously, Sacred Tree is continuous, but otherwise, there is no normal traps. And that's that for Apophis Paleo Guideline. Well, technically, Apophis Guide. So let's see what's up with this massive Fat 60 trap deck list. Carthorin, the hidden gem of the seafront. 2, Magic Colloidal Soul. 3, the man with the mark. Mystical Beast of Circuit. 2, Merciless Scorpion of the Circuits. 3, Anubis the Last Judge. 3, Reasoning. That grass looks greener, makes sense. 3, Treasures of the Kings, Temple of the Kings. And then the heavy traps, Fiend Comedian. 3, Threatening Roar. Elemental Burst, Different Dimension Ground. And then the Paleos, 2 Dynamiscus, 3 Morellas, 3 Lean Coilia. And then as we continue on with the rest of this, Booby Trap E, normal trap, discard 1 card, straight up set 1 continuous trap card from your hand or graveyard to your field. That set card can be triggered this turn. 2 Rise to Full Heights, 2 D Barrier, 3 Trap Trick, some more Archfiends, 2 Destructor Daruma Karma Cannons, 3 Transaction Rollback, 2 The Black Goat Labs, 3 Trapaholic, Redeemable Jar, 2 Apophis the Swamp Deity, You're Finished, 2 Apophis the Serpent, DD Post. Extra that consists of Divine Serpent Apophis, Naturia Exterio, 2 Paleozoic Anomalocaris, 2 Paleozoic Opapinia, Gigantic Sprite, number 2 Ninja Shadow Mosquito, Gallon Granite, Varudras, the Final Bringer of the End Times, Zeus, Typhon, Lanpharynchus, Paleozoic Cambraraster, 2 Paleozoics to make it, unaffected by monsters, Towers of Monsters, each effect once per turn. You can target 1 set card in the spell/trap zone, send it to the grave, and if you do, straight up set 1 Paleo trap from your deck, and it can be triggered this turn. If a set cards you control will be killed by card effect, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard instead. So Saving Grace, awesome. And Silhouette Rabbit. This has been James Polk with the in-depth guide to Apophis. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hit that notification bell to keep yourself constantly updated. And have a happy Christmas weekend, everyone. Catch you all next week. Not this current Christmas week, but next week.